Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to be looking at how to create a Hello World program using web forms in Visual Studio 2019. We're going to be using C# and the .NET framework. So let's get straight into it. Load up Visual Studio 2019. Let's click on Create New Project. So let's have a look. We want to look for a web application. So let's see what options we have. We have a ASP.NET web application using the .NET framework. This sounds like the one we want. Select that and click Next. I'm going to leave everything default. The only thing I'm going to check is that we are using the latest version of the .NET framework. It's always best to choose the latest version if you can do so. Unless you've got a good reason, go with the latest version. Okay, let's create this web application. Alright, so we've got a selection here. Now obviously in this video we are going to specifically be looking at web forms. Generally speaking, nowadays if you were to create a web application, you'd probably very likely be using either MVC or Web API, and we'll go ahead and check out these in another video, but for now we're going to go with web forms. You know, web forms is widely used, but not so much for new projects. Nowadays it's mainly used with slightly older projects. I used web forms for many years. I think it's a fantastic language, and actually I think it's a great language for beginners because it shares a lot in common with WinForms. So if you're used to WinForms, then web forms is a nice way to check out some web development without having to learn too much new. So let's check it out. Web forms, click Create. I mean, web forms gets a lot of hate these days because it had a few issues, but I think for the most part I think it's a great language, especially if you're learning web development. So let's have a look how we can create a Hello World program. So let's have a look what we got here. We've got a default page. We won't want to be using that because it's already got stuff in it. So I'll tell you what, we're going to right click the web application. We're going to select Add a new item, and we're going to want to select, let's see if we can find it. We want a web form. Let's do a search. Web form. Nope, it's not finding it. Let's have a look at, maybe I need to select web. That would help. Here we are. I hadn't selected web on the left hand side. I think we were looking in code possibly. Yeah, I think we were looking in the wrong area. So let's click on web on the left hand side, and we don't even have to search for it. It's right there. So click on web form and click add. So here we go. We've got some HTML markup there. If you're new to web forms, you've basically got the HTML source, but you've got a code behind as well. So there it is. Here's the web form. You've actually got a web form. You've got the HTML. You've got a designer, which we won't go into details on what that is because it's unnecessary at this stage. But you've also got a code behind. So this code behind file is where you'd put the logic for your page. So let's go ahead. There's a couple of ways we can do this. I'm going to show you two ways you can do a Hello World program. First thing you can do it super easy. We can literally just add a header1 tag, and we can put in that tag Hello World. I'm going to get rid of these div tags. Don't need them right now. And then what we're going to do, there's a couple of ways you can run it as well. You can either right click the web form and click view in browser, and that should load up. The project is configured to use SSL. Don't ask me again. Would you like to trust the iOS to fit? Yes. Yes. Here we go. It's loaded in the background, I think. It's loading. And there we have it. Hello world. So pretty simple. But let's do a little bit more interesting. Let's change this up a little bit. So let's get rid of the H1 tag. Save it. If you I closed it. You can right click it again. View in browser. And as you can see, there's no hello world. If we undo it, save, alt tab back and refresh, you don't have to run it every time. We can see it's there. But we're going to get rid of it. So let's get rid of that H1 tag. Save it, alt tab back, click F5, refresh it, it's gone. So let's think of another way that we can do the same thing, something a little bit more exciting. So let's double click on the code behind file, the web form file here. And what we're going to write is we're going to write response.write, open and close brackets, semicolon, inside here, because this is literally a method, yeah, this is a method. We're going to put in a string, and in that string we're going to put hello world. We're going to build it, so you can build it a couple of ways. You can go build and say build solution, or you can do Control Shift B, I think it is. Let me try. Yeah, Control Shift B, that's it. I know the command, but I usually just do it automatically, so I forgot the actual keys. But it's Control Shift, Left Shift and B, and that builds it too. So there's a couple of ways we can run it. If we still got the browser open, we can just hit refresh, and as you can see, we've got hello world. It's a little bit small though. Let's make it a H1 tag. We can actually put HTML in here too. So let's do H1. H1 stands for header 1. It's the biggest heading by default. We want slash H1 closing, and let's do Control Shift B to build it, or tab back and click F5 to refresh it. And as you can see, hello world. We achieved the same thing but using two different techniques. Yeah, I think that will probably wrap this video up. The only other thing I want to show you is that you can actually run this another way. What we can do is we can go to Solution Explorer, we can right click that web form, click on Set as Start Page, and then what we're going to do is we're going to push play. And what this does is it will load up the browser, but also it'll start debugging. We haven't set a breakpoint, so we're not going to jump into the debugger. But as you can see, it achieves the same thing. If we close this, it should stop the debugger. Well, it normally does. It hasn't in this instance, so we can just go ahead and click stop there. If you did, I'm probably going slightly above and beyond for hello world, but if you did want to debug, all you have to do, set a little breakpoint here on the left hand side and click play, and then what will actually happen is it will jump straight into that breakpoint, and as you can see, we can step through the code. So there's a couple of here we go. These are I normally use F11, F10 and Shift F11, but let's click on these ones. So we want to go F10. So F10, so we're going to step into this line, step over it, and once we've finished the closing brace, the browser will load. So that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button, that'd be awesome. If you want to see similar content to this in the future, why not consider subscribing? And if you have any suggestions for future videos, throw them in the comment section below, and hopefully I'll see you around here next time.